Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. I cannot tell you how happy I am. And this is the fifth weekend of the third Global Empowerment Summit. This is the end of this 5 weeks amazing experience that we all put together with the 133 speakers on board. And I'm just so happy that we managed to do this. You have all these amazing conversation and all the value. Please rewatch them on the YouTube channel so that you can get included. And today I'm starting the day with my amazing guest, Kuan, here. Hi,
Hi,
Kuan. How are you today?
good. Thank you. Good morning, Andrea, and good morning, everybody. Yeah, how
So
you
nice
guys
to
are
have
doing?
you here. Everything is good, and I'm excited to have you in the studio. I see Yuva is also here. So, hi, good morning, Yuva, already. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. And Kuan is a great friend. We were working together on a project as part of the Global Empowerment Summit because I partnered up with Anwar Faisal and My Digital Fashion Week, and we are empowering models from all walks of life. And Kuan is part of this project. He is the photographer, the videographer, and our media helper behind the scenes. I'm just so happy to have you on board. I see Angela is also here. Hi, Angela. Angela, hi, Archan. Good
Hi.
morning. Hi, Jack. Thank you for tuning in. So, Kuhan, welcome at the GES stage. Before we start and jump into your conversation, introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. So, my name is Kuhanish, but most of my peers and friends call me Kuhan. So, basically, I'm actually a freelance photographer. So, I have been doing photography for the last 6 years, serious photography. So, my areas of that I cover for photography is mainly on fashion and also pageant related. So I've been involved in quite a number of fashion shows as a official and unofficial photographer, and also for pageants as well. So and I really like this area because it's more of also understanding how the whole event management works, because these are basically event related photography, right? So it's more like I like to enjoy to be part of it, to understand how the whole process works.
I love it. Jack is already saying, "Oh, that's great. I need some tips."
Good.
She was in pageants, and she was a model when she was in her early years, and she was showing me these beautiful pictures, when she was on stage, and she still wants to and over and try it out. So I think we can make that happen.
Thanks.
So, Gwen, when it's about photography, a lot of people are afraid of having a photo shoot. A lot of people are afraid to show themselves, and they are getting like very nervous in front of the camera. What would be your tips for them to be a little bit at ease and to change from very nervous stage fright kind of to someone who is okay, confident, a bit more confident in front of cameras?
So from my now years of experience taking portraits and doing photo shoots with various peoples, let it be professionals or even amateurs. So first, you need to make sure that they are very comfortable with the person who's taking the photos. First, it's not about the photos; it's about being having a chemistry between the photographer and the subject that you're taking. So you need to make sure that they are comfortable. So always give them an impression that photography is not something very scary, or something that you need to be prepared about. So I mean, there is some preparation that needs to be done, but you need to sort of guide them through. Like for example, do not worry about looking to the camera. Just imagine that. I always like to tell them a story behind it. So imagine that you're in this scenario, and then this is how it's going to be like. And I want you to actually focus not at me, but look at my gadget or my camera. And then I always ask them to have proper eye contact, like always look at the camera. And I also guide them in terms of the direction, the sense of direction of how do you need to pose, how do you need to express yourself. So all these important factors I usually try to share to them during the photo shoot sessions, because like you said, there are many people out there that are afraid to be in front of a camera, or afraid to be photographed. So you need to actually make them feel at ease and being very comfortable with the person is taking it. So you need to start to build a rapport and chemistry. It's always the networking part is also very important, so that they'll be very comfortable with you when they work with you.
I love the tips. And I think that's so important that you said something like, okay, don't focus on the person, but focus on the camera. Because sometimes we are getting so self-conscious, right? When you are looking at the person and you are, feeling like starting this hamster wheel of judgment, like, what does he think? Do I look right? And then if you concentrate on the gadget or the camera, it's a little bit better because you just focus on the lenses, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So good. And when it's about events and when it's about being a photographer, because maybe some photographers are also listening to us. So, what are the things that photographers can do to be prepared for a photo shoot at an event? Because it's kind of like a lot of things happening at the same time. So, it's maybe a little bit different than other prepared studio photo shoots, right? So, what's the difference and how can we prepare for that as photographers?
So usually, like for events, like especially when I attend fashion shows, let's talk about fashion shows first. Usually, the first thing that I always do is I always try to come early, be punctual, or you try to be as come as early as possible, and do observe and do a survey around the location. Because, like for example, fashion shows, they have different layouts of the way the runway works, right? So that's one thing. And then you need to make sure, the second thing I look for is the lighting. So whenever, when there's, you just try to imagine when there are models going to be walking on the runway, how do you want to take the shots? Are you standing in the right position? Are you able to get the shots where there's enough light hitting the model, and also the outfits? Because fashion show is not about just taking pictures of the models walking. It's about working with designers as well, and you need to showcase their outfits, the design, the patterns of it. So everything needs to be accountable. So I always emphasize on looking at how the layout first, followed by the lighting, and then of course I also look for a best spot to take, because being a photographer, you need to also try to explore other areas of how do you want to shoot. Like for example, every time when you do a photo, when you're taking pictures of the runway and the models walking, you need to make sure you get the right angles, and then always try to be creative, try to play with different angles. And that's one thing about fashion shows. And then for pageantry, so that's what I do, similar, very similar, also find the best place to take and the spots and all that. And also you need to make sure that you have all your gadgets prepared, right? Like for example, make sure all your batteries are all charged, so do not leave anything uncharged, and then you need to rush. Make sure you have enough space for your memory card, right? And also imagine you have to also make sure that you have enough place in case if you need to bring lots of batteries, brings lots of memory cards, just in case if you have. Just come prepared, because you might never know. Sometimes there have been cases where um, I remember when I was taking a picture of a fashion show, I was trying to prepare for it. And what happened was my camera just got jammed, and I think because the battery was faulty, and I have to look for another battery. And then always also, if possible, if you're a person that who can be more prepared, have a spare camera just in case if anything happens, you need to use a spare camera to take, because you don't want to miss the moments. You don't want to miss the moments. It's not just about taking models walking. Sometimes if you need to do you need to cover other areas. For example, the guest that comes, you need to do behind the scenes, like taking pictures in the backstage. So come prepared. So these are the things that I always look into, and always make sure that you also observe the surroundings, and always keep an eye on what's going on, so you don't miss out anything. Not just focus on what you're doing. You can also remember that if it's an event, you also need to cover other areas as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I love the tip. So make sure your gadgets are ready. Make sure you are charged.
Yes,
make sure also that you are charged, right? You
yes,
don't go to a fashion show or a pageant or any event when you are really really tired. And
correct.
also make sure that you are covering many things and you are learning about the designers and what is important for them and showing every single corner of the event. I see Zeni is tuning in. Hi Zeni, nice to see
Hi,
you
Jenny.
here. So yeah, it's something very interesting that I saw you many times backstage, and you were going backstage and you did like kind of like live backstage moments, and I think those pictures are so powerful, right?
Yes, I think it's also because backstage you're not just taking pictures of what's going on there. You're also capturing how is the light, how is the moments behind the stage. Like like most of them will always see what's going on stage. When the models walk, and then when the designer comes out. But what happens behind? the whole environment. I would like to use the word commotion because it's like, everybody's trying to prepare. Even the crew who's behind also plays a very important role. So I make a point to take pictures of everybody that I could during the backstage because, you know, they are so busy. They're busy preparing, wearing the outfits, fitting, the designers trying to adjust, making, some, adjustments on the outfits. So all this, it's nice to know that, okay, somebody's actually capturing these moments that they know that, okay, it's so tense, but at the same time, we want to make sure that it becomes a successful event, and we want to make sure that, so it's nice, and people realize that, oh, sometimes backstage shots are also nicer, so it's good to see those moments, and we kind of like greeting back. And in fact, recently when I started to post the pictures of the fashion shows, and even some on backstage pictures, some of the models came back to me and they gave me feedback. Said, I missed this moment, I missed this, fashion show, I missed the crew, everything. So it's nice to capture moments, because photography is also about capturing moments. So and also I give credits to the makeup artists who also taking diligently doing makeup for every single model that's working. So they also need to, we also capture them as well, because they're doing the work right. So we need to capture the moments. It's a lot of hard work taken. So we want to, and I use this photography to give them the precision that they need towards the whole activity. Yeah.
I like the word commotion that you were using. It's very very great word to use. I have been backstage many times, so yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very busy and very fast paced promotion.
Yeah.
Everything is going on a way. So Jagatis is following us very closely, and she's asking, okay, I have a Nikon DSLR, you know what type, the
Yeah.
5000 camera, and she's not really using it, and now she's using only the handphone, but she's interested in using the camera itself. So it's happened to me. So also I got a camera as a gift, and I just didn't take it out because I just have my phone. So what's your experience about using cameras, old style normal photography, like good quality
Mm.
photograph machines, or just using your cell phone or mobile phone? Which one is the best, or is that an occasion when one is better than the other?
Well, in general, I think DSLR is. I mean, most of the cameras that started way back it comes with DSLR, and now as we are moving towards the digitalization, so it's more like people are realizing that, okay, everything can be captured, and like now when you take pictures, you can immediately delete it, or immediately you can just check whether everything's okay and all that. And of course, the next stage round is using smartphones, like what's mentioned here. So because it's more convenient, all I need to do is I just carry my phone and I can just take around pictures, right? But I think it's also the quality of the output that comes. Like even if you take with the camera and you take with the phone, the output may be slightly different. Although they can also produce very good photos, but the output is different. So like to answer Jack's question, how do you start? That first thing, you need to check how long have you been not been using the camera, because sometimes some cameras you need to actually take care of it. Like it's like during the pandemic, right? There was time where we didn't have any events to go to or to run, and we photographers also, we didn't have any sort of what do you call that, to take pictures, because there's no events, right? So we need to preserve our camera, like to make sure that it's okay to use at one point when we really need to, because sometimes if you keep a camera in a place where it's all dusted up, you can even get your camera can even get fungus, and even your lenses also can get fungus. So we usually recommend to buy a dry box. You can get any type of dry box, and then just put your camera and your lenses in that to preserve it. So that's just one thing. And then coming back to the question of the digitalization is, it depends, because like now, even I've met a lot of mobile graphers. I call them mobile graphers because they also take pictures with their mobile.
Mobile
Because
graphers.
yes, it's a term that I like to use, because when we do street, when I go for, even I do street for portraits, sometimes I meet these folks, and they use this they use their phones instead of cameras, and they say it's convenient, and they know how to adjust the settings and all that, because nowadays the latest phones have, you can even adjust your aperture, your shutter speed, all these terminologies, or ISO, you can even adjust to take. But I think it depends. You can it's I'm an old fashioned person. I still prefer using my camera to take photos, because I still like to hold the camera, the gadget that I have, and taking pictures and adjusting with my lenses and stuff. But I think phone is also good in a way that if you want to take quick shots, like capture moments, and then something that can really post straight away on social media. But with cameras, probably you need time to transfer the photos to your phone, and then sometimes the file is very big or there's a lot of photos. It takes time, so that's a bit of a difference. So I think people are slowly evolving from DSLR to having mirrorless cameras, like the one that I'm using right now, and even to phones.
Love it. And I think there is so much tech here to talk about, because I don't want to go into very much details. But guys, if you have very technical questions, please reach out to Koen, and then he can guide you on this one. For the future of photography and the future of events, because that's actually our topic for today, what do you think how this is evolving? Like, we have seen so many things happening. A lot of people are trying to do very close captions and already doing live when they are at the events. We don't really see printed photography anymore. So what's the future like? How do you see the art in the new era of digital?
I think it simplifies a lot of things, especially when it comes to capturing art and capturing, photography, especially in the areas. So I think it's easy and faster now because everything's going to, like I mentioned, digitalization. So it's people are slowly moving towards that. Like, even now, you can even do live stream. You can even take pictures and do a video of a show that's happening through the phone, right? It makes it easier. But I think regardless of what tool we use, photography is photography. So that's one thing that I always believe in. As long you're able to capture it and produce good quality results, I think that's the way to go. Because as we move on, everything is going to be on social media right now. Everyone's posting on Instagram or Facebook. So it's like, everybody wants to get things fast and capture moments. So like even when I observed the other day at a fashion show that I was with, a lot of them actually taking videos and just post up and tag every designers and models. So it's faster. And then, like, sometimes they say photographers take time to give us the photos and all that stuff. I get a lot of feedback from that, but they also understand that there's a lot of work behind that. So obviously you want to do a quick instant. Phone is always the best. If you have very good quality phones, then go for it. But if you don't, always go for a camera. I would suggest everybody start with something very basic. Get a simple camera and start capturing pictures and testing something. Take pictures of flowers, maybe you can start with that, and then slowly take pictures of your family members. Obviously, I always tell them, make sure that you just start practicing that, and then towards the end, when you are at events, you can still use that and try to make it a habit to practice more. And we take pictures of people and all that. And also, I think it's faster. It's so, like, say, you get things done, sorted out, and you have things up. But obviously, it reaches out faster to people as well, especially when you post things on social media. So compared to photography. But regardless of what medium that you use to take or capture the moments, I think digital edition is the way to go. This is how I feel it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very true. I don't know whether you still receive like a request of printed photography. Do you still have a dark room, and do you still do that? I mean,
No, I don't. I don't have, actually. I don't even have a studio. But usually, what I do is I rent a studio. But I think, like, even like if you want to take pictures of portraits, but now I think everybody wants things to be on digital or even online. Let's use the word online, the simple term. So everything is very fast. So you just want to capture pictures and post it, because I think the idea of having paperless, or having something printed hard copy, it's no longer there. Everyone wants to have a soft copy and they can keep it. And then now with having cloud, you get enough storages, so everything can be captured and kept there as memories as well. So I think that's the way that's moving forward now. So no, nowadays people don't really do the printed, unless if it's something that they don't really want to print, then it's upon request on case by case basis.
love it. I think it's a great share. We had so many wisdom nuggets here about photography and how to do it, even from when you are a model or when you are a photographer. Thank you so much for that, Gwen. And at the end of the conversation, I just would like to ask you about what are your future plans? How do you work on your business? How do you get clients in the future? Like, how do you imagine uh, KM Studio works in 2030? I don't know.
Well, for me, I'm very happy and content with what I'm doing right now because again, like I mentioned in the beginning of the conversation, I'm a part-time photographer, so I just do this for the passion. Obviously, to build my name, I like to be involved in more events in future. And then my forte has always been fashion and pageants, so I would like to explore more. And it's also about meeting people. It's not just about the photography behind is also meeting people. How do you network? How do you work with the crews? And then also it's more of how do I want to be an established photographer, fashion and portrait photographer, of course. Let it be a fashion or also in fashion. So I will look at it that way, and it's easy to be a bit more mobile, so you can actually move around. So I like to keep it that way for now. And I just want to produce more work and give more good results to all my clients and also my organizers in future. That's what I'm actually looking forward to.
Love it, guys. So you can reach out to Kuan. I know that you have an amazing Instagram account. So can you tell us the Instagram account name so that people can check your work?
Okay, it's actually based on the name that I created, KM Studio Works. So the name behind KM Studio Works is KM is actually my initial, which stands for my name, Kuhanish Mahendra. And then since I just thought it should sound like a photography Instagram page. So I decided to add studio, and then works is like I'm working, right? So that's how I do it. So you
I
can
love
check me
it.
out at just km.studioworks. Works with the letter
Zadi,
Z
right?
instead of with the letter Z instead of S at the back. Yeah, so do check out, and my account is very active. I'm posting contents every day, almost every day. So please reach out to me if you need any, if you have anything related to the work that I'm doing or anything beyond that. Please let me know as well.
We'll do that. And thank you so much for being here, Kuan. I really enjoyed the conversation, getting to know photography a little bit more. And also, a lot of people are really interested in it. So we had a lot of questions about the cameras, about how to use them. Thank you for the tip of checking on our camera so that it's not expiring and
Yes.
we can never ever use them. And also about like the introduction of usage of mobile phones and usage of cameras and being a model and being a photographer. Thank you so much. I wish you an amazing weekend. I know that you are very busy with all the different clients and the different
Yes.
events. So I wish you all the best with that. And then we see each other very, very soon.
Yes. Thank you so much, Andrea, and thank you everybody for joining this session. And everybody have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Kuan. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
So, switching speakers in the studio, this was Kuhan and his amazing story about becoming a photographer and how to do how the future of photography will be. And I already see Louise in the studio, so I will just bring her up because the next up is Louise Day, one of my friends and mentees, and I just love this lady. She is amazing and like a sunflower. So let me bring her up to the studio. Hi, Louise. How are you
Good
today?
morning. Good morning. I'm good. I'm good. Recovered from COVID-19. And thank you for having me. Happy to be part of this. And yes, thank you. Morning, Andrea. Morning, everybody.
So happy to have you here, Louise. You have an amazing story that is inspiring so many. So let me just bring up your topic, which is when self-doubt speaks louder. And this is the topic that we will be exploring in the next 25 minutes.
Yep.
And after this, we also have Carol World, a designer couple who is coming in and explaining how they created their brand in Malaysia. And then we will be also having Lady Nora. Nora is from Johor and she will talk about how she built her community and her brand. So
Nice.
amazing morning, but we are starting with you now. So before we jump into your topic, Louise, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Louise. Louise Day. I'm a local Malaysian. I'm mother of two, married 5 years ago. Good morning. I'm a business person, like mom entrepreneur, where I actually run a wedding planning decoration company for 12 years. I'm a certified wedding specialist myself, and a background with a bit of investment banking background, accounting background, but I'm doing something that's totally not what I've started with. So yes, here I am as a mompreneur, and looking forward to contribute to the community. And I'm actually very passionate about women and children, younger children. Yeah.
Love it, Louise. And I know that you're also part of an amazing initiative called NACC, and we were actually working together on this project. And I really loved your event, what you put together, and that you are supporting all these amazing ladies. So tell us a little bit about that before we go right into your topic.
Sure. Okay, so NECC stands for New Entrepreneur Championship Conference. It's actually a flagship project of JCI Lead Tropicana. So Junior Chamber International JCI is an international NGO platform. The purpose is really to find out what the root cause problems of in a community, and when we find out what the problem is, and we will want to create projects that actually helped to address the root cause. So this NACC program, which I was actually one of participants last year, and that's where I met my mentor, Andrea. She has helped me tremendously. And this year, I actually decided to break my fear to take this project as an organizing chairperson this year. And our focus is actually on women entrepreneur. Purpose is to empower them to step up their business game and accelerate their business game as a whole. So this program is like a 3 months program, which actually we have finished a few months ago. We actually have 3 winners. How do we determine or decide in terms of who the winner are? Is actually based on their progress, how much they have breakthrough themselves, and that's the whole purpose of this program. Really to, come on, like you women don't have to play small. Although we are a mother or even a stay-home mom, but you still can be a mompreneur, right? You don't have to be playing small, and the world out there is waiting for that voice that only you have. That is quote by Mary Foley, and I loved her. So this is what I envision to create this opportunity for women entrepreneurs to step up the games. So this is NACC.
Love this initiative. So please, guys, check it out if you're interested in something like this. Even if you want a mentee or mentor some of the guys who are competing or who are in this program, please reach out to Louise. And then now we are switching to your topic, which is about self-doubt speaks louder. So why did you choose this topic? Tell us a little bit about your perspective on the title.
I think in anything that we do, our criticism on ourselves are huge, especially for myself, right? Whatever we do, the little voice in us will definitely resist, right? The resistance is always there. It's a matter of how are we actually listen to that voice, at the same time doing something and telling them that it's okay, I can still move forward. So why do I pick this topic? Is really also because of NECC. As an event planner myself, wedding planner myself for 12 years, I was thinking, hey, you know what? It should not be that difficult to actually run a project of a 3 months project with, Andrea as one of our mentors this year. Thank you for joining us as well. I think should be okay running a project, right? There should be not much challenge, and with my event management background should be okay. So the moment I picked up this project at the beginning was, oh my God, like it's so overwhelming. I think it's really, then I then realized that running a project, even like this third global empowerment summit, I think there's so much behind it. Really, there's so much behind. Mine is also a 3 month program. Not as huge as this, but the project, I think the whole progress and the process is almost the same. I don't have running project background, although I have some during university, but that was already all has precedence and we just follow, right? But this is a totally different thing. We had to decide what the vision is. We have to decide what the mission is. We have to decide all the audiences that we want to focus on and how niche it is to focus on women. It's because of last year NACC program. The number of people were not as many expected, but it's also because they said that the women market was too niche, and if you open up to male as well, then the people that can reach out is even more. Then I actually took that for a while, and I tell them no, like it doesn't connect to me, right? This project is about women, and the reason why women is also because other than my passion and mission to actually empower women is also because me as a woman myself, as an entrepreneur myself, I know how much struggle, and as a mother, I know how much struggle they will have to go through to take care of children and home and husbands and parents and your business, right? And with that, how much time do we have? So I still tell them that, hey, I still want to focus on it because I think we should not just we should dream big. We should dream big, like so when it comes to project management, it's a totally different ball game. This self-doubt was huge, and I was overwhelmed, and I even contacted Andrea. I said, mentor, I needed some guidance. It was very, very loud, and I wasn't sure whether I made the right decision. I wasn't sure whether this is the right decision to still stick with women entrepreneur at that time. And I even have challenges with people coming to us and say that, hey, like maybe you should do this and that, but that does not actually align with the whole project thing, right? So there is a lot of challenges in that sense, but I think the biggest challenge I have was really the self-doubt that actually speaks louder. It was so loud that I was thinking, oh my God, I'm not enough. I don't have what it takes to run this program. I don't know how to run a project, it was so loud, and it took a step back, and I actually freeze for a little while, and I took time to decide as well in terms of whether I want to pursue further. And I even have moments of when I was also thinking of maybe I'm not the right person for this project. Maybe I'm not the right person for this. Maybe I should quit, maybe I should just find somebody else and just do this, right? Even though how much my heart is telling me that this is for you, this is what has been planned for you, right? But this here is telling me that no, Louise, you're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. You should just leave. It was so loud. So this is why I picked this this topic, and how I wanted to also share my journey in terms of how I actually take action to not overcome this self-doubt, because I think this self-doubt has got a lot to do with insecurity, where a lot of us have, and I don't think this thing will go away. There's one point where I think that maybe this security will somehow go away when you take care of yourself more, when you do more, when you're more confident, your self-doubt will go away, your insecurity will go away. But after a while, I would notice that it will not go away. It will not go away. It's a matter of how we want to take the step to actually be friends with it, be friends with that self-doubt, and telling ourselves that it's okay even you are insecure, because no one's perfect, and it's okay because God has what it takes to show you the path. And yes, that is where I then pursue with this program, and we ended with a blast, and it was amazing. The sponsors we get, the overall, we had an overall summary of how much we economical wise have transacted. It was my first time, and it was above 300,000. So for me, may not be a big number for a lot of people, but for me as a first timer, I think that was quite a big number for a 300,000 in short 3 months. So that was pretty amazing. I take it as a blast, and we have so many breakthrough that we see through this program, not just for myself, but it's also for all the participants that they have. So yes, that's it's a long story as to why we picked this topic, but it was that the self-doubt was so loud, and like
So let's give it a little bit of celebration for you.
Yay!
It's always good to celebrate and to tap yourself on your shoulder. Well done,
Thank
Louise, and you just grow tremendously in the last few years, and I'm so happy to see the transformation, and I love that you were very honest about it, that the self-doubt, the insecurity is not going away, which is totally right. I mean, we have ups and downs, we have more family events, more things to care about. So nothing is always 100% balanced and perfect. So we have to show that picture that it's imperfect and it's lovely and beautiful with all its imperfections, right? It's just silencing that noise that matters in our head, that we can really do it. And I think that's something that I wanted to ask you further to continue the conversation. Like, what exactly the practical things that you did for yourself to focus on the project and to stay in this tunnel of focus and not going towards that noise that is so loud in your head?
I think the first thing I did was really to see why did I pick this up from the very first day, from the very first decision that I decided to volunteer myself and take this OC role. I asked myself, why even I make that decision? That decision was strong. A lot of times when we do, as along the way where challenges comes in and you start self-doubting yourself, you kind of lost as to why even you are doing this. There's time where you will ask yourself, why did I put myself in such situation? I could have just sit at home and watch Netflix. Why am I doing this? And there's so much, and project management itself, other than your existing, it's like a whole. It's like your plate is kind of full, but it's actually fill your plate even more, right? So the stress level were there, everything were there. But I asked myself, why did I decide to pursue this project, and why did I go with women empowerment? So that was quite strong, and I of course with the team all together, we were very focused on the purpose, and also telling myself that the people that we are going to impact through this program will be even more meaningful than the self-doubt that it's telling you. So that outcome, of the ultimate outcome that we want to achieve, actually has greater meaning than what it is with the self-doubt. I think that really brings me to kept thriving through this whole thing, this whole progress, and ultimately is really to see the breakthrough. I think their outcome is our greatest reward of the whole program management thing. So that was the focus that I tell myself, look, I put my focus not on myself, on that self-doubt thing. I put my focus on the outcome and breakthrough that I had last year, and hoping to see there are more people actually had or even better breakthrough for themselves, right? I wouldn't say better or not, like everyone's breakthrough is different, but having to see everyone's breakthrough at a different level, at their level, was very rewarding. And one of the example where one of the participants was a very introvert, and she doesn't speak much, and she just started her business, and she wasn't sure whether she wanted to do this, and one part of the program was about pitching for your business, right? And she was saying that, no, I am not going to do presentation. Then she was really scared, like where this self-doubt thing was in her. Then we tell her, look, you just take that one step and let's see what will happen. So we let her deal with that herself. I think a lot of time, as much as we can say we want to help, but we also let her deal with herself, also together with her mentor, Erin Kwan, which I think was one of the speakers. Yeah. So she ended up, there was also a session where one of our speakers telling her, if you are not ready for public speaking, maybe a business thing is not your thing. And we saw her started crying on the spot. And that was quite painful. Oh my God. We were like, oh my God, okay, she's crying, like, of course the speaker was like, the trainer was not meant to say but the meaning was different for us. We said, yeah, like you should overcome your fear, right? But to her, I think it was also already in a situation where, oh my God, like, and she cried, right? The next week was the pitching day, right? And she presented super well. And that, to us, we celebrated. We were like, oh my God, like, this is super good. We are so good to see you standing in front. And she said that, what, even the day before, she's still doubting that she's going to do this, right? It wasn't a pitching proposal that she did. It was a business presentation. But we think it's okay because at least you had that breakthrough. And that was one of the many breakthroughs that we saw through the participants, right? So now to her, presentation is no longer a oh my God thing for her. It was like, yeah, I've done it before. I can do it again. Yes, so it was super amazing. I think that the focus was really that, to see all this breakthrough, and that was really our biggest reward. Yes.
So when you are mentoring people, when you are doing all these projects, and when you are bringing them in the forefront, what are the steps that you are following in your program? Like, what is the first thing that you did with them? How do you help them grow? What is the exact process of this incubation, basically?
Okay, so what we did was, our research has shown that the women entrepreneur, the biggest challenges was 5. One was social, one was confidence level, one was financial, and the other 2 was not having the knowledge and have not having the support people. So what we did was, we actually wanted to create this platform to tell them that, to equip them with this information, right? Financial, we bring in accounting, we bring in budgeting, we bring in pitching opportunity for them. Our judges was also panels of judges. They are also angels investors themselves. They may or may not invest because they are all very new entrepreneur, right? But what will happen after, and that feedback that coming from them was super amazing. So that was what we did for them. We even had a series of classes, every other Saturday. Some we have 4 classes a month, some we have 3 classes. Is every Saturday, covering from marketing to social media to business wear, to presentation, to planning of a business, and so on and so forth. So it was actually a full-fledged program that covers almost all, if I say, for business, and then ultimately giving them a opportunity to pitch for their business. So for the business, so this is the entire program. And of course, throughout this program, we have mentor like Andrea. We pull in mentor who has experience themselves, and who are actually they have been through it. They have done that. They know what it is to take. They know how to mentor them. So throughout the 3 months, they meet throughout that 3 months, like 6 times throughout the program, and ultimately we want to see their progress. So we will have our mentor to give points to them that system thing. And ultimately we also have pitching portion where they actually would be given points by the panel judges. Then ultimately we will have top 3 winner who will win prizes, including having interview session through radio, and so on and so forth. So this is the whole 3 months program. We started off with knowledge, and then in between we throughout the program we have mentor, and ultimately teaching business opportunity. And then so that is the whole program. So with that, then they know that, hey, they can actually leave the program with something very solid on their hand, like the pitching deck, right? We have feedback for them, and they actually even have one of them actually a second time pitching it, and she still said that, hey, this opportunity was so great for her to actually brush up her pitching deck even more. A lot of them, they have not done a pitching opportunity, have not done a pitching in the public before, but to them it's like we are telling them, look, raising fund does not have to come from savings. We found out through our research that a lot of women and mother, we actually fund our business from our savings, right? Then we tell them, look, we don't have to do that anymore, because the market now, there are a lot of investors who want to invest into businesses, right? Even small or whatnot, like fintech, whatever, right? People want to invest into businesses. So you can actually raise fund through other people who have the same interest as yours, and it does not have to come from your savings anymore. So this is one of the things we want to tell them, look, this is what it is, and we give them the opportunity. So this platform is really for them to play, at the same time grow, and at the end of it, they leave the program with a solid tools that they can use immediately right after the program. So we even include fitness. So we think fitness is very important. We even have classes of fitness for them, telling them that, hey, even when you're cooking, you still can do exercise like stretching or whatnot, right? With a towel, doing laundry with a towel, I don't know, things like that. So we want them to know that it's a very comprehensive program. And they said, oh my God, like, and the price was very low because it's for NGO. And they're saying that this is just the value that they get is really over many times of what they have paid. So it was really good. So this is a whole 3 months program that we have for the participants.
Love it. It has been a lot of work, but you did it right, and then it was an amazing outcome. And you are continuing it also in the future, right?
Yes, I think for myself now that, even if it's not through JCI, but I do still want to pursue into maybe on my own, or in the sense of through my business, because my business is a very women focused, not entirely, but most of the people, like wedding planner ourselves, most of us are women. On top of that, I'm also looking for opportunity to help children, underprivileged children who do not have the opportunity for education, in order for us to see how we can actually help them in that basis. So maybe a social entrepreneur. I don't know. I'm really looking into a different path for myself. Other than wedding planner, I felt that this is not it. I do have pretty strong blood in me in terms of wanting to help the underprivileged. So yes, that one is something that I'm looking forward to. Not sure what is the future gonna be like, but I'm gonna just let it go, and let everything just flow. I through this process of OC, I have noticed that, like, I can't control everything. I'm not perfect either. I don't have all the answers, right? I just let it go, follow the flow, trust the progress, trust the process. Things will fall into places. That things will actually come into a piece and go together. So that is what I've learned a lot. Right? Self-doubt is still there. Insecurity is still gonna be there. I just have to continue. Just take one step at a time and just continue.
I'm just happy to listen to you. I mean, yeah, the difference is just amazing, and I just love that you found your path, and then that's it. That's just it. You have to just do the journey, and then whatever
Yeah.
comes, you just embrace, and then you try to solve the situation from a very calm place, not from an emotionally, overwhelmed place, and then everything will be all right. And I think Betty is seeing it already, so she's commenting, so inspiring. Louise sharing in her pitching encounters, very methodical and workable in her guides. So I think it's also that your communication is so clear that people love what you are sharing here. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Andrea, for showing me my mission. Like last year, I don't know what my mission is until through your mentorship was super transformative for me, and that was where it all started. I want to thank you, and still bring me up here to share this story, and it all comes from you. Thank you so much, Andrea.
I mean, it's the audience have to know it's never coming from the mentor. It's always coming from the mentee, doing the steps, being brave enough to look behind the self-doubt and try to find what's behind. So I'm always celebrating Louise
Yes.
or other mentees, because that's not my work, it's your hard work. So
Yes.
I'm really, really giving you all the things that you did for yourself, and you took it very seriously. And I think in mentorship, guys, that's one advice from me as a mentor, that whenever you go into mentorship, only do it when you are 100% committed, because it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, and if you do the effort, everything is fine. You will find your ways, you will do one steps, but when you don't do the job, it's just wasting time, and it will be just frustrating. So that's why I'm always emphasizing on that. So
do the
Louise,
work.
do the work.
Do the work.
So Betty is commenting, let it go, let it flow, trust the process. So we have a little quote from Betty, and then Jagatis is saying, good luck, Louise, and you are amazing. And also Angela is saying, amazing what you do, Louise, so keep on doing it. And thank you so much for your time here, and thank you for sharing your story. I wish you all the best for the future. We keep in touch. We may collaborate in the future. Our profession is really close to each other, so I'm looking forward to do some projects together.
Yes.
And yes, just have an amazing weekend with your family. And
Thank you, Andrea.
Amazing and inspiring.
Thank you for amazing and inspiring. Thank you for doing this Global Empowerment Summit. It's super amazing. I just never thought this thing can be, when you don't see, you don't know it actually possible. Now you have actually set the example of it is possible, so nothing is impossible now for me, knowing that you are doing this, and it's on a date, almost weekend basis. But I want to say thank you once again, and for bringing me on this platform, and definitely wanting to thank everybody for their time in listening to this. And I love you, and I love everybody. And thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you. You're amazing. Bye.
Love you. We meet you very soon.
Yes.
And thank you, guys. We are coming up in another studio link with 2 other speakers this morning. Carol World is coming, and then after that we have a branding session with Lady Anne. So thank you so much, Louise. Have an amazing weekend, and see you very, very soon.
Bye.
Bye.